you ready, Riverside? Five, 4, 2, 1.
Hey, we recording.
All right,
Hey,
and now
does
over
that
to.
mean we're live? No, I don't
Oh,
think
shit.
it means we're live.
Nope, not yet. We're not live yet. Okay, but we're about to go live now. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Here.
Y'all gonna kill me. Hold on just 1 second.
Wow, what happened?
I want to know how to get.
I wanna know.
No, how to put our logo at. Kayla, can you research that? You
How
better
to put logo
research
where?
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How to put logo on
and
Riverside?
Riverside.
Y'all see that? Okay, it says using your computer. Well, this says add to a video clip.
Hmm. Okay,
It
so
says
you
using
can't really
your
do it.
upload a recording with a recording with the editor, add logo. Okay, let's see. Can you do it on a live stream?
Strange. Okay. Hello.
Hmm.
That was weird.
All right, add a logo. How to put a logo on Riverside Live. Um,
Dun, 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 dun. Down by the riverside.
try to do this possibly. It says on your computer, log into your account, click home, access a studio settings by clicking settings gear in the design section, find studio logo and upload it.
I don't have a design section.
It says okay, you don't see that? It says in computer, access the studio and settings, and then design, find studio logo. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
Well, I'll research it further and we'll just worry about
Okay.
it next time. But that's one of the reasons why I was thinking about switching from Riverside to StreamYard. Because I would really like our logo up there and it doesn't look like Riverside could do it. So but oh well. All right, we'll get started.
Okay.
Is you ready for some shit?
Mm-hmm.
Are
I
you?
said, is you ready for some shit?
Are you?
I mean, it's all right. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Bam bam beanie. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? Muffin
He
Man.
lives on Drury Lane. All right. We're live once again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sips and Scripts, the podcast where we make a cocktail and talk about one of our favorite films from the past and the present. I am Kirsten Jackson, and I am a blogger and cocktail influencer at lowcountrysocialite.com.
I'm Kayla Rose, and I'm an entertainment blogger at inmytheater.com.
I'm Terrell Bernard, film enthusiast, and welcome to the show.
Welcome to the
Welcome.
show.
Welcome,
Show.
welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's still spooky season. It's still spooky season. It's still spooky season. Stay magical.
Yes, it is still. Oh God. Yes, it is still spooky season, and we are continuing with Fright Month. We're doing scary movies. Well, not all of our movies are scary, but they're all Halloween themed or scary or horror movies all month long. And Today is Terrell's episode, so I'm going to let him introduce our film for today.
Yes. So the film for this episode is Get Out. Uh,
Get out of my
2017
Caucasian house.
Jordan Peele directed film.
I'm sorry, Joanne the Scammer is back, guys. If y'all don't remember Joanne the Scammer, go type in "Get Out of My Caucasian House" and you will see
Oh
exactly what
my
I'm talking about.
God. Terrible.
Proceed. Sorry.
Yes, we are watching Get Out, not to be confused with Joanne the Scammer's Get Out of My Caucasian House. However, Get Out, just the same. So, Terrell, why did you choose this film?
Why did I choose this film? I chose this film. I saw it when I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I think I saw it later on after I heard some of the people talking about how good it was. And I was like, well, let me check it out. And I like the themes that this film touches on. Like the characters, the development. It was a really cohesive story from beginning to end. I like how Jordan Peele told this story through the eyes of our main character. Excuse me, Chris. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I like what they talked about. It was not hidden, but it was like what do you call it? Something that it's like parallel to normal living life in the United States for certain groups of people. So I enjoyed that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have to say, boy, Jordan Peele hit it out the park with this one. Because this, I don't know if this was his first like movie that he put out, but I feel like it was the first like really, really big thing that he put out. At least from like stuff that I've seen. Because I know he put out like Keanu before that, and he had touched on some like TV shows. I think Mad TV back in the day, and but I think
Key
he
and Peele.
maybe had some stuff to do with like some Rick and Morty. Like I think there were some things in TV shows that he had been a part of, but I think this was one of his first things that he actually put out that was like, I'm Jordan Peele and I am here. And now he's kind of set the precedence for like, oh, we know when a Jordan Peele movie comes out, it's gonna be good and it's gonna be something that is like going to mess you up a little bit on the inside. So I think Get Out was that kind of first one for him, and he's been doing amazing ever since. So
Yeah. Even though I think this is by far the best that he's put out. But yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I did not watch Us because I was a little too freaked out because of how good Get Out was. I was like, because something about this seems like even worse. And then even trying to watch Nope, I was like, oh God, I watched it, but I was like, whew, Jesus, he did it again. He did it again. So we're gonna watch Us.
I haven't watched Nope yet. I've watched obviously Get Out, and I've watched Us. Us is still has those strong racial. It's a little. Us was a little more spooky. Like I will say, are we at the part where we talk about our history with the film? Is that what we're doing?
We not down in there, but that's all right.
But you know what? That's all right. Well, I was like, I watched Get Out, and I remember when it first came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's a horror film," but I didn't get that. I just thought it was like this, like suspense, like
thriller type of
kind of thing. But but over time, like I respected the film when it first came out, and I liked it. It wasn't necessarily my type of horror film because I felt like it kind of teetered into
Disney enough for you?
Well, shut your damn mouth. No, I like it was a little too. I felt like it was real. It started going kind of sci-fi when it got like the surgery and stuff that scenes that we'll get to. So, but I still liked it, but it wasn't a scary movie to me. But do y'all remember people were like, people were walking out of the theater and said, so scary. And I was like,
yeah,
but
that's a little too
people, but every now and then a film comes out where people will say, people were walking out of the theater. They were holding each other in the theater. And it's like,
yeah.
And I think that's just the thing to say. Like I remember people were saying that around Jurassic Park. Remember, Terrell, remember when the first Jurassic Park came out? People were leaving the theater because it was so scary.
Dinosaurs were
Now,
everywhere.
I'm like, who are these people leaving the theater? Because I never see that shit when I go to the theater.
People that
There's no way you walked out of Jurassic Park talking about something. Oh my God, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's no way.
No, but for us, that was new. That was a new type of movie. Like,
never
for your generation, sorry. Now that's like, what is this? Clay animation or whatever they use in Jurassic Park.
What I have heard that people are walking out of the movie theater or the people who've been doing screenings for, people are saying that people are vomiting, they're fainting, they're leaving out. It's a movie called The Terrifier 2. I guess it's a sequel to the Terrifier. People have like literally been reporting that like people are fainting and having to leave because
oh my God.
Yeah, I heard.
And it's almost like I'm not a scary movie girl. I'm like not, but I'm almost like
I'm intrigued.
You're intrigued. You want to go to a movie and run out and throw up. If it's a movie that make me want to throw up, then I don't want to.
Cause I'd be like, I take it as a challenge. Like I want to see if I'm gonna throw up.
I'm like I kind of want to go. It's a slasher,
but then I had to come home. So and my honey don't like scary movies, so he ain't gonna see it with me. So I just be looking crazy.
You're scary. You scary too.
It's a clown too, so there's that.
I love scary movies, but not when I live alone.
I know that's right. I'm gonna go see it, and I'm not a scary movie girl, like I said, but I feel like we all should make a pact to go see this movie, guys, right now, today. Maybe not go see it today, but let's make a pact.
Sign me up. But before we dig into that, we got to do our cocktail for the day.
Oh yeah, what we sipping?
Because my ice is melting.
Oh,
because my ice is melting.
What cocktail you made to go with this movie?
Well, we're gonna do a little something different today. I actually did not make a cocktail. I have a canned cocktail. Like the canned cocktails are like all the rage right now. Especially like they blew up during the pandemic, like because people were, looking for an easy way to drink. So you guys remember like the iconic tea scene where she's like stirring the tea?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So excuse me. So I have a canned cocktail by Crown Royal, and it is the peach tea.
Ooh, girl, send that to me.
Yeah, I actually bought this, like, it wasn't sent to me, unfortunately. Crown Royal hit me up. But I bought this a couple of weeks ago, and it's like been sitting in the house, and I'm like, you know what, this would be the perfect time to like break it out. So I'm gonna open it up and taste it and let you guys know how it goes. But the flavor is peach tea. They have like an apple tea one, and they have like a lemonade one. They've got quite a few, but I'm like, man, the box is so dang pretty. But you know what, Crown Royal packaging has always been pretty. You know, them bags, man.
Yeah.
They dope.
Yeah.
Put your loose chain.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
What the hell was that?
What the hell, right? Somebody on the organ this morning.
Yes. We having church. What was that? That was
no. Oh, you know what? I know what it was. It was the timer.
Oh, yes, y'all. We get a little off course, so we got a timer. I was like, what is? I'm in the circus. What was that?
It was so. It just came in with the chords. It was.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
It was beautiful though. It was beautiful. Thank you. We got Kayla on the organ. Anyway, back to Crown Royal. So I'm gonna open this up, and it's 4 cans. I think this cost me about $13, $14 maybe, something like that. So it wasn't too bad for 4 cocktails, and they're big, like full-size cans. So
I love that.
So here we go.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So you gonna chug one for us? You gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chug it.
Like,
yeah, you definitely gotta smash it up on your forehead.
Yeah, I'll be real frat boy. Man, let me tell you something. You want me to see me burst in tears? I don't see how people can do that. I got my little
straw, y'all. Oh, okay.
No, I got a glass ice.
And I was about to say, not
you
kidding.
didn't even let it touch the glass.
So this is the peach tea flavor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel like I smell the peach through here. You know me and peaches and Peach World and Peach, yeah.
And Princess Peach or Mario, yeah, I know.
Yes, I remember you with all the peach stuff. So I'm gonna give it a swirl.
I'm a Georgia peach. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Oh, is it good?
It is light.
Oh, light. Percentage.
It's good though. Like it's not super sweet. Like
it's still Crown.
Like
though,
taste the Crown.
Okay.
Definitely taste the peach. Definitely taste the tea. It's not a strong tea flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't taste like brewed strong tea. It tastes like like tea you buy in the store, like Lipton or something already made. It's like on that level, but it tastes a little better than that. But yeah, the peach flavor.
See, you don't seem very excited about it. What is there something that you would do?
You see, I keep drinking it.
I see you keep drinking it, but you don't sound excited. What would you do to maybe spruce up the flavor a little bit that make it better for you? What do you think you would add?
Well, I definitely think that you could build on this cocktail. I think if you wanted to just sip it, like it's good for sipping, like as a refreshing drink, because it is kind of light. But if you wanted to build on it, you could add a little more Crown Royal, a little more tea. You could probably add lemonade. They have like a half and half kind of setup. I'm gonna finish this glass.
I never said more. Like you need more Crown. Definitely need more Crown.
I mean, because to me, it's not at cocktail level. Like it's at like sipping, refreshing. You could just sit and just
it's like a
drink
little
it.
Drink, but it's not no
But
like.
if you wanted it to be like cocktail level, right?
Rocking chair, like I'm on sipping a nice peach tea with some Crown.
Yeah, because like it doesn't like usually when you drink alcohol either straight or like in a cocktail where it's like the spirits are kind of heavy in it, you have a little burn going down. Like there's no burn in this.
Oh well, that means it ain't high enough for me. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, so you can sip it like and not worry. You could like sip it during the day, or you could build on it and make it like a cocktail by like adding a little more whatever. Put some ginger ale. Oh, it'd be good with a little ginger ale through it. But anyway, yes. So that's our cocktail for today. I didn't put it in a little teacup because it's still tea. So that's our cocktail.
Okay. All right. Well,
love quick little rundown. All right.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna be talking about Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele, written by Jordan Peele, and also co-produced by Jordan Peele,
Come on.
starring Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams.
Is that how you say his
Whitford.
name? Kahlua?
I thought it was. It's not.
Kalu. I don't know. I'm asking.
I thought it was
Kalu.
Kahlua.
I'm pretty sure it's
I
Kahlua.
think it is. If anybody knows, let me know. I don't want to mispronounce his name. I'd be messed up. Like, y'all go watch that Kahlua boy. He all right.
I'm pretty sure it's Kahlua. I'm pretty
That
sure.
Kahlua boy is doing good things. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
This movie, it came out first. It was at Sundance Film Festival, January 23rd of 2017. Then it was released nationwide in the United States, February 2017. $44.5 million budget, that's low, but it killed the box office 255.4 million.
Yeah, this movie did really well.
I love
smash
about us.
right out
We
the
show up for our people. We show up for our people and blow that stuff out the water. We might not show up for each other in all the ways that is necessary, but when we go out and support,
if it's entertaining, then we gonna be there.
Fair enough.
Like, how can I be entertained during this whole process? Like, if you find out a way to be entertained, they're gonna be like, we gonna be there. Right there. Might not be there long, but we gonna be there. Show up, show out, and then go back home.
Yep. But yeah, this I do remember like people were going like in droves to see this movie and talking about how good it was. I guess my history with the film, I'm trying to remember when I saw it because I don't think I saw it in the movie theaters. Matter of fact, I'm sure I didn't. But my mama saw it in the theaters.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure that was hilarious.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know my mama, she is like the most controversial she gonna get as far as TV is. Everybody Loves Raymond and Little House on the Prairie and Gunsmoke. Those are her ready steadies. Somehow somebody convinced her to go see Get Out. I don't know how they did it because usually she's like, I ain't going to see that. Whatever it is, I don't want to see that. Somebody convinced her, and she came home. She was, Kirsten, that was the scariest movie I ever seen in my life. That was just, and she kept going
the
on.
People they talk about just running out the theater.
Yeah, it must be her. She went on about that movie for weeks, and she was like, "That's the scariest movie I've ever seen." And then Mama, she's not really good at telling stories, so she was trying to recap what she saw, but she was, they kept doing these surgeries, and then the man, he went home with his white girlfriend, and then they did the surgery, and then they just and it was running. It was the man who was in there running, and it was the scariest movie I ever seen.
Oh, that's funny.
That was so spot on. That was so your mama.
Yeah, it sounds just like her.
Yeah, and I like it was like she just kept like spurting out like different parts of the film, like but not it together. But I had seen the movie, and so I was like, oh well, I understood what you're talking about, but it was real like all over the place. But yeah, it terrified her, and I was like, I just didn't see where that. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I didn't see where the movie was so scary. I thought it was very thought-provoking. I thought it was like eerie, and I thought it was like it was a new way to present horror themes, but I just did not see scary. But Mama was terrified.
I didn't get scary. I got, like you said, kind of like thriller, suspense. Not scary. Us is giving scary. I haven't seen it. That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Us was. Yes.
But, and even Nope, it gives suspense, thriller. It does not give horror, scary.
Yeah. Well,
do y'all think that's like a new? You've seen all the slashers, somebody running out the woods with a knife trying to stab you, somebody trying to do something to you, you go in the house, somebody grabbing you. Is this like the new type of horror?
Hmm.
Like kind of putting his own spin on horror genre, on the
I
horror
do
genre?
think so. I don't know if Jordan Peele like
Is inventing the wheel there?
well, I think he has a large part of like changing the way we view horror movies and what we expect from horror movies. Like now, horror movies now, you really have to think and be like, okay, put these pieces together. And this movie is like that. Like, and it makes you think, and you're thinking well after the film is over. And I think that that is kind of what makes this film so different from other horror films because it really like promotes
I
thought and new concepts. And so yeah, absolutely. Like, but now with horror movies, like, because it used to be like, we had the slasher films back in the day, and like
Mhm.
other films that were like further like supernatural scare, like Amityville Horror and stuff like that. But they weren't necessarily movies where you had to do a lot of thinking. And now, yeah,
He really got out. Yeah, he
mhm.
really, it was like a jigsaw puzzle. He dumped the pieces out. And as you go on, you just get one piece at a time, one piece at a time until you finally figure it out. And you're like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know it was going to go that way, but I see.
Right, right, right.
think
Well,
it's very. It's to me. It's almost like really having to go back and define what the word horror means
mhm,
because you know, like maybe finding the difference between the horror and the thrillers and stuff like that. So I went and looked up the definition. It's like what defines horror: painful and intense fear, dread, or dismay. So I'm like, I can see why they would call it a horror film. It's not. It's just not like the horrors that we see when we talk about movies like I don't know, Friday the 13th. It's not as drastic and as like it's not all bloody filled and bloody show like filled like, but I could see why they still call it horror. And then I hate to be the one to like put things in a box and sometimes, but I kind of went and looked and I would love to go back and like look at some maybe interviews he's done and see if he likes to classify himself as like a black horror filmmaker versus like I make horror films because I would never want to disrespect him. But I will say he's probably the first to break into the black horror film genre. Because I want to say if you look at who has made black horror films, they most likely weren't black. So there's that too. So it's a lot. I want to go back and kind of look at some of his interviews and see how he defines himself as a filmmaker.
yeah. I I think it's part like to what you were saying earlier about like Jordan Peele's projects like this. Um, we obviously I was introduced to Jordan Peele through Key and Peele, the show that they had,
Mhm.
which was absolutely hilarious. And so when he came out with this project, I was like, okay, well, this is new. And I just think that it's just so incredible for someone to kind of break out into like a new genre and have
Mm-hmm.
that kind of still critical success that this film was. Because like this film's like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like that's
Mhm.
unheard of.
Yeah.
For especially for like a first time project um like that. So I thought that was, pretty cool. In the film, I think that another thing that really worked for this is that, racism and slavery and like uh prejudices and all that stuff is America's true horror story.
Yup.
Mhm. And that
So, all right, say
things
that
that in
again.
this film. No, I said all those things are in this film. all those things you just said are in this film, and they showcase it
Absolutely.
very smartly. I like he's really smartly written and directed. So yeah.
Right, right. It was a very clever film, and it was it's almost like when you think about it, it's like, why has nobody ever done this before? Because the true horrors in America are right there. And for somebody to take that and to package it in a way that is like to put it in a film to where people can understand, because I feel like sometimes you have to teach people with what they call edutainment, like the educational entertainment. And and it this movie was really packaged in a way to where it could be received by all audiences and make sense and be like, okay, that is a terror that, you know, in this crazy world could possibly happen. It wasn't, I mean, I don't know if anybody's doing surgery in their basements, but it wasn't that far fetched to me.
Exactly.
Have you guys, what's the movie with the blind guy? The oh goodness, we're gonna get off track if I do this, but they was doing surgery in like a broken abandoned building. It was wildly fascinating. So, and you know what? I think people do it because they do be having people chopping people up in the basements of their houses. So it's not that far fetched. It's not that far fetched.
Sticking fix the flat in people's ass, the
Yeah,
pump it up. So yeah, they do other things in basements.
Yes, I mean, there's lots of stuff, and I think that what was very smart of this movie was that it followed a lot of tropes that really work, like the whole you don't know what goes on in people's houses thing, like that really worked, like and also, like, you know, like the crazy things that people do that most people don't know about, like that, like the movie, have y'all seen Centipede?
No, I stay away from that.
Okay.
What, talking about Human Centipede?
Yeah, Human Centipede. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I heard about it. I was like, no thanks.
No, thank you.
Yeah, to me, like this movie was on the level of Human Centipede. Like, for those of you who've never seen Human Centipede, it's like, I've only seen one, but I think there's like 3 of them now. But it was basically this crazy doctor was like, I'm going to make a human centipede. So he was sewing people up, mouth to ass. It's like he got a train of 3 people. And so the first one, yeah. So the second one was like mouth to ass. He sewed them up all together so they were connected. It was a human centipede.
That sounds so disturbing.
It is, and then you see it. Like, I'm not doing the surgery, but like you see them connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's So that film is more gory, but like kind of the concepts were still kind of the same, like people doing weird surgeries in the basement.
Okay, because now I have to look at it. I don't want to watch the movie, but I want to kind of go look at it. It sounds so fucking disturbing.
I heard someone talking about it one time, and I was like, "No, I'm good. I don't even see a trailer, a clip, a review. I'm good. I don't need to see it."
It was one of those that like went viral, like an underground kind of, you know, hit. And I watched it because I was on this little scary movie kick, because I think I watched that, and that was around the time of like I Spit on Your Grave came out, like those when people started really doing those underground horror films. I watched it. Human Centipede.
Oh, never mind. I'm good. I'm actually good. That's great. All right. Yeah, no, thank you. Don't go watch that movie, y'all. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourselves. Anywho,
it's a lie. It is not for the weak stomached.
And I'm not one of those. Me and my sister.
Because what you think would happen does happen if somebody's mouth is sold to your asshole.
I'm good. I I don't even need to imagine. I'm good.
Bang,
I'll
bang.
imagine something
I'm
else.
just so yeah, back to Get Out. Back to Get
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyways, so Get Out. I will say that there's a couple of things that I thought were very some points that when you I know we haven't gotten too deep, so if there's any part and you want me to be like Kayla Kush, but when we get to the scene of them like auctioning
Go there.
where they're auctioning him and they're all bidding on him, I like for people to know that stuff happens still to this day, and so it was not misplaced or mismatched. People are still in slavery in America here today, across the world here today, and if you don't think it happens, you're very naive. You're very naive.
Yeah,
It
I
might
think
not
that there are like
sound
pockets of what's the word for it? This little T done got me kind of lifted a little bit. Uh,
Guess it had the right amount of
it's not
clown
that
in there.
strong. It's not
I told you,
that
told you that it was enough. It certainly was
That's
enough.
funny.
But no, I think that there are like pockets of history that have really blacks and people of color, and that still go on. That people, it's so under the radar that people just they don't know about it, or they don't talk about it, or they don't they're just not educated about it. Like, because we have reports, and like this stuff started circulating probably like last year. We have reports of black people still being in slavery in this country in the 1960s.
Mhm.
So, and it's just a lot of stuff that we don't recognize. And like I can't tell you how many things I've learned about like this country's like horrible history that I had to learn in adulthood. And we've touched on this several times in this podcast, like, things that we did not know about or just learning about that we should have been taught in school so that we would get more of a comprehensive view of this country's history.
Mhm.
But like the Tulsa massacre, I didn't know about that until I was an adult.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, like Black Wall Street and all that stuff. And also like I heard of like the Tuskegee like experiments, but I didn't know the true story, like the whole like story until a few years ago. I'll be honest. Like, and it was a lot of it is you have to search it out. Like nobody tells you. But I know about damn President
George
Washington.
and
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Well, I know
He chopped
about
down a cherry tree.
that damn tree.
Good for him.
Yeah, and
What it
his wooden teeth. I know about that.
But then come to find out, those teeth weren't wooden.
Oh,
They were human teeth from slaves.
That's true. That is very true.
Which is
Indigenous history that they was teaching
nobody
us.
teeth in my mouth. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
I don't think I want anybody teeth in my mouth, but I think if that was the only option back then, that or no teeth, I might consider it.
How about you just no teeth? How about that? How about
Hell
take care of your
no,
teeth?
not as much as I like to chew. Hell
How about
no.
brush your teeth?
Ooh, funny.
Well, look, now back then, people glorify these period pieces, but back then, it was syphilis was rampant, and dental care was not there, and so yeah. But anyway, back to our movie. Let's dive in and break. Come on, let's break. Oh, you still on the teeth thing?
I'm on a lot of things.
Well,
did have a question for y'all about the first viewing and the second viewing. How did y'all compare to the first viewing? How did y'all, I guess, was it the second time, was it easier to see what was going on than the first time?
I think so. Absolutely. I think going into the movie knowing the ending and knowing exactly what happened, I definitely think it was easier to watch and be like, It was also easier to pick out a lot of plot holes too. Not plot holes, but At least there was a big plot hole at the end of the movie that you were like,
Really?
yeah. So
What plot hole?
Before I answer, do share.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
So y'all know when Chris breaks away and hits the brother, and he gets up from the basement or whatever, and he starts fighting the kill the daddy, kill the mama, kill the brother. The girl was sitting in the house the entire time with her headphones on.
Mhm.
Rose was just sitting there eating Cheerios or whatever it was that she was eating, picking out other black men.
Which might have been the fucking eeriest scene of the movie, because who eats cereal like that? But go on.
Yeah. And she was just, scrolling through her next target of black men. I don't care how loud you have your music playing in your headphones. And they was headphones like this, like the little put in your ear headphones. They wasn't like there was no Apple Music, AirPods, no Beats that's right up in your ear, nothing like that. You mean to tell me he is throwing these people around? Everybody is screaming, crying, yelling, being thrown up against walls, punctured by darn deer antlers, and you don't hear none of that happening?
No, I wouldn't.
But
that
then
was a big house.
You hear someone getting ran over like a mile, not even a mile down the street from you, randomly. All of that commotion was happening in the house, and the only time she hears something is when he hits somebody outside.
I don't know. I could see it.
How?
That did not. I mean, I know what you're saying, but that did not strike me as a plot hole.
Plot hole.
It wasn't
one of them things that's like, come on.
It wasn't, to me. That wasn't that far fetched. I mean, like.
So you tell me right now, Terrell, if one of your was to drop a TV off the wall right now, you wouldn't hear it.
I would hear it, but the thing is, I think the way that house was set up, that they wouldn't hear it. I'm pretty sure they got soundproofing going on because they're doing surgeries down there. They don't want anybody to hear it. They don't want anybody to stumble upon it. You can make your house soundproof.
I'm gonna say, because that was an expensive home, and they probably did have.
But they weren't even okay. I can hear you saying in the basement they have soundproofing to make sure that you can't hear from the. They weren't in the basement anymore. They was at the front door of the house.
And she was upstairs. I could see she was sitting on the couch, like.
Yeah. And I will say this in like at my mama's house. In my room, I can hear anything. Like I hear everything all through the house. But in my mama's room, her room is like a vacuum. You cannot hear anything.
Let me look at this house from Get Out again, so I can.
That was a nice ass house, and
I am looking at this house right now. There's no fucking way. There's no way.
You can see it in the walls.
I know, right?
Okay, so where their room, like where they were versus where their rooms are, you have the main part of the house is in the middle, and then you have a room to the side, and you have a room to the side. Her room was right below. The 3 rooms are at the top. The door is right below those 3 rooms.
Kayla,
you can't convince me. You cannot convince me that house did not hear all of that happening. But okay, I'm gonna let y'all have it. What?
But also keep in mind that this is the best way I'm gonna just clear that up. The only thing I have. Her brother was crazy, and he was always like flipping and stuff and beating on stuff with. So she probably like, oh, that's just what the brother's name? We'll call him Troy. I don't know. That's just Troy down there just practicing. Yeah, he's just practicing his beat somebody up thing. I don't know.
Okay, all right. If that's what y'all want to say,
but outside she'd be like, well, no, I don't know. Now that sounds like somebody getting hit in the car.
Yeah. If I hear somebody get hit by a car, I'm like, oh. Whoa.
Yeah, because that impact is loud.
That's
like if you've ever hit like a deer or just like anything with your car, that it is
loud.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever
Yeah.
you say. Whatever you say. But yeah, well, other than that, I think that it was a lot. It was so much. We got to get to the real part though about what was actually going on in this movie.
Yeah,
What
let's crack these scenes open. Where you guys want to start?
is very
Uh,
interesting to
we could.
me.
hmm
I was gonna say it was very interesting to me when we finally figured out what was going on. These white people were stealing black bodies to live in their consciousness. But what I didn't understand was like they are just living because okay, so for example, what was the black maid's name?
Georgina.
Georgina, right?
hmm
So Georgina was supposed to be the grandmother or whatever.
hmm
But my thing is, so Georgina's now the grandmother,
hmm
and Georgina is actually somewhere deep in consciousness, but you're working as a maid.
Yeah, I mean,
Just to be alive.
you just not gonna have black people just kicking it at your house, just doing whatever. You got to keep up appearances.
But yeah, I understand that. But my question is like, so you just wanted to be alive, so you opted to be a black person who's now working as a maid. Like,
But you know what? I think that
that's what I did.
I didn't think about it then, but I think that they
They're
might.
putting on a front for them.
Yeah, they
for
might
him.
have done that because boyfriend was visiting and they got to
Mhm.
explain these Negroes in the house somehow. So
Oh.
probably like when they was just like regular, they were just like grandma and grandpa up in the room.
Which
But
is what she said. Get
That
him,
makes so
grandpa.
much sense.
When she said get him, grandpa, I was like, I couldn't
Yeah.
help but laugh. This black man comes charging out of the night.
Yeah, that was like a lot going on. But I will say one thing that was very clever was like Jordan Peele like really relied on black people having all of these same experiences and using the same like colloquialisms and stuff. Like because once once Georgina started talking and the other one, that was at the party with the hat, I can't remember his name. I don't remember nobody's name.
That was
when they
Andre
started talking,
Logan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then when Grandpa started talking, and he was like, "Yeah," it was like I know all black people everywhere were like, "Something ain't right."
Wait a minute, hold
That's
up,
not
something ain't right.
something ain't right.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's so
weird what's going on.
Yeah, it's just so cool that like black people, like we come in all different shapes and sizes and just geographic locations and everything, but we almost all of us have the same experiences, and yeah,
and it's how we talk
really cool
to each other, and it's like
right.
the way they were speaking, I was like, something, and he could tell from when he first started talking, he was like, something about this, something about y'all ain't right. Like if the black people, like I know y'all up here, there ain't many black people up here, but y'all acting too strange. It ain't even like, oh, I don't live around black people, so that's not part of my culture. It's like, nah, y'all are pretending. Y'all just look black. Y'all ain't black at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, it I thought that was really, really cool of Jordan to rely on that.
What's that?
That was real funny. Okay, I don't know if this is y'all, and I ain't gonna say who said it, but I will say in the black family, a lot of people, and I know it's not right, and we support interracial marriages around here, period, point blankety blank. But growing up, a lot of time was like, y'all don't go mess with them white people, y'all don't go do this, don't go do that. And I think he brought that back in this movie too, in the form of his friend saying, don't you go over to the white people's house, you don't know them. And I was like, that's so interesting because it's something that I feel like most of us have probably heard like growing up. And you make your own decisions when you get older and things like that. But it was very interesting for him to have put that in the movie in this day and age.
Yeah, because it wasn't a far out concept because we've heard that all our lives. Like
if they can't use your comb, don't bring them home.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I didn't hear that like in my like immediate family. but it was something that I've heard all like from people around me, and yeah, it was not a far out concept. And I'm sure a lot of people were thinking, like watching this movie and thinking, that's what he get. But I will say,
That's what he get. That's funny.
yeah, there are like a lot of people who just don't.
Yeah,
Don't
it,
intermingle.
it was interesting to me
Yeah.
because he dared to go where a lot of people don't. Because sure, we've heard it, but I don't know if white people have ever heard that we heard that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they've probably known on the other way around. Their families are like, y'all don't go mingle with those black folks. But I almost doubt that they had ever heard that black people get told the same thing about them. I doubt that they had ever seen it or heard it. So for him to kind of put it in this movie, I was like, and I think that's kind of what set him apart too, is because he's not afraid to put those themes of racism, those themes of,
should have been afraid. You should have been very afraid.
Like I don't think I think that's what makes him such a great filmmaker, is because he's just not. I'm going to do this, and it is just what it is, and you can feel offended about it or not.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
Well, I think that like I said, he's just kind of ushering in this new genre where there's definitely plenty of subject matter. Because have you guys watched Them, the series by Lena Waithe? Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't watch it.
I watched it. Whoo! It is heavy. And now I think like when that came out and people started watching it, like that really prompted the conversation about like trauma porn and what is just okay to put into your mind and what is just best to stay away from. And I will say that show was very heavy. But I hear that it has been renewed for season 2 and 3, I think. So it was well done and it was very interesting, but it is not for the faint of heart. But I think that sometimes, even though sometimes I can kind of be on the fence about educating white people, because I feel like, the knowledge is there. Don't rely on a black person to tell you what's going on, what you're doing wrong, or what has been done wrong. One, you should know, and two, you have the desire to research yourself. However, then comes shows like Them and movies like Us and Get Out, where it is packaged in a way that it is, educating people that are not of color that are like, okay, wow, things like this do exist. Even though this is a work of fiction, obviously, it is rooted in deep racism, though. Is it? I hope it is. Because my thing is not necessarily about the racism. I think any of that shit is possible because we have seen some true horrors in this country. Like, but I don't. Conscious can live inside of another person's body, both of the consciousnesses be there. But I think that is also an interesting discussion.
Zipped into a little fantasy fiction right there. That's why I don't think it happened.
But it makes me think about like the future, like because I hate to keep bringing up other TV shows, but like the show Upload. Like, will we ever get to a point where you can download your consciousness and upload it into a computer? And I thought that, I mean,
I'm not gonna say I doubt it because
you never know.
Things that I never thought, oh, virtual reality, they could never do that. You've never
and holograms, like that's
it's getting crazy right now. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, those are things that were always predicted to have happened. Like, so I feel like they weren't out of reach.
But you were, I guess, speaking like as far as like an age difference, you were born closer to those ideas, and we were born
Mhm.
further
Way
away from them. So,
before.
like, yeah, the biggest technology we had when we were kids was like fucking Nintendo. And that was even
we
like
thought that was the best thing ever.
outstanding.
It can't get no
Yes.
better than Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, this is true technology at its finest.
You can't get any better than that. They're gonna never look more realistic than this. Like,
Okay, I understand. I can see that. I don't know. It's really hard for me to wrap my mind around stuff that has to deal with like your actual consciousness, I guess. But I guess you really just never know.
I mean, it's crazy though, because when you think about, like, I sit and think about this shit all the time, like, because I look at arguments. Oh, this is witchcraft and this is magic, and I think like, okay, my thoughts on that is that maybe magic, like how we think of it, like Harry Potter and like shit like that, doesn't necessarily exist. However, if you took somebody that was born in like 1300s or whatever and brought them here, they'd be like, this is fucking magic. Like, this is witchcraft.
Yeah, their brains would explode.
Yeah.
It'd
So like,
it'd be an overload.
yeah, and everything would be like attributed to like magic or witchcraft. Because like, we are talking and we are being broadcasted to whoever can view it. Like, that is unheard of back then. And even when I was a kid, that was unheard of. I remember when Facebook Live came out, that shit was like, this is unreal. Remember, people were going live all the time. It was so annoying.
Oh my gosh, Periscope. Oh my god.
On Periscope. Oh my god, yes. So yeah, that I think about that, and then not to get too far in the weeds, but I think about like technological advances and how maybe 1,000 years from now you will be able to upload your conscious, or
Art gonna be here 1,000 years from now.
It ain't looking good, but hey.
Something gonna be here 1,000 years from now.
A big floating rock. A big floating rock with people going on live on Facebook. Yeah, I don't know. I've lived long enough to be like, anything's possible, man. The dinosaurs might come back. Who knows? I'm
waiting. I'm okay
Not
with
me.
I'm good.
But you waiting on the dinosaurs to come back?
What dinosaur come back?
Oh, I'm about to say, that is when you will get the reports. That Kirsten was running out of the theater. She was crying and vomiting. I can see a dinosaur.
So the ones that eat that are not carnivorous, because I can't think of the other word.
But they still got big feet that they can step on you with. So no
thanks. And they ain't gonna say oops, nothing. They just gonna keep on moving.
Yeah, they gonna squash you.
Like the
trying
ones
to get
that don't eat flesh will look at us and be like, "Oh no, let me not hurt the little poor human." Because
that's
elephants will just step on people when they're not upset at them.
You're right. However, if you in the way of a plant, I believe it will crush you to get to the plant. So therefore, all dinosaurs are dangerous.
I don't believe that because
you go ahead and be friends with a dinosaur.
Elephants are the closest thing to dinosaurs, I believe, and elephants are pretty gentle unless they're fed up. They are really
I
gentle.
just saw a video of these people on the safari, and this guy is hitting reverse as hard as he can to get away from this elephant. This elephant is on their ass. He wasn't playing with them at all.
When they are fed up, they're fed up. But when they are just living their peaceful lives, like the elephant,
anybody.
But elephants have killed people accidentally.
Or on purpose. What about the elephant that killed the lady in India and then went to her funeral and demolished it?
That's because the elephant was upset at her.
Well, how do you know that you made an elephant upset?
They had this elephant.
Yeah, how do you know?
The lady did something to that elephant.
Like the elephant could be like, I'm mad.
Go look it up.
This elephant look offended.
I apologize, elephant. I offended you.
What's
looking
the
crazy.
story? There is a story about that lady doing something to that elephant, and that elephant came back and was like, boom, boom, boom at her funeral. There was
But to
something
come
that
back
happened.
to kill somebody and then to find out where their funeral is and to show up at said funeral and do some more damage, like, bro.
So left it alone.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. My favorite animal in the world is elephant. I love elephants. But ain't no way I would, if I saw an elephant, I like just randomly, I would be like, oh, okay, I'm going back in the house. It's elephants out there.
It's elephants out there.
I mean, oh, look at that elephant, y'all see it?
And that's when you get
from the window. Yeah, I wouldn't go up and be like, oh,
see,
my
it was
dreams have
a
come true.
poacher. The lady was a poacher that killed her little elephant baby, and so she beat her to death and went to her funeral and made sure she was extra dead. So boom.
But
I would do it
have to do that.
I would do it too.
Listen, let me tell you something.
I don't trust
it's 3
no
rules.
I don't even trust humans.
Yeah. I feel like
elephant.
any animal, whether it is a nice animal, if it has the capability of it can eat me, beat me, or defeat me, I'm not fucking with it.
Well, humans can do that.
And I don't trust
them. And I don't fuck with a lot of them.
Like, I know when it's time to go. Like, oh, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
Some of us are just animal lovers, and some of us are just animal shooters. And so I'm okay with one of the little baby dinosaurs coming back to live in the streets with us. I'm okay with that.
We have a comment.
Never bring no dinosaurs back. It's enough things on this earth as it is. I don't need not another one to show up.
Okay, let's take roaches out, right? Let's take roaches out. Roaches.
Oh, you ain't never gonna get rid of them.
I'm about to say you ain't never gonna get rid of roaches.
With like,
this is a draft. We trading. What's going on?
I don't know the kindest dinosaurs out there. We are so far.
We think we know the
yes. Let's get back to let's get back to Get Out, because we are now about to research what dinosaurs are the kindest. I think we've officially gone off the freaking rails, and let's reel it back in.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh, I'm an awful timekeeper.
Yes, you are. And we have a comment here saying that is laughing at you engaging with elephants. It's even the people know that is foolishness.
Exactly. I'm not messing around with no elephants.
Yeah, I'm gonna think that this is a kind dinosaur. Anyway, moving on.
Real quick, when Rose at the beginning, where they're getting ready to go to her parents' house, did you believe Rose when she was like, did you tell them that I was black, and have you ever dated another black person before? And she was like, I didn't tell them. And no, you're the first black person I've ever dated in my life. I looked at her so sideways. I was like, bro, you just don't jump on black just all willy-nilly the first time and invite them to your house and don't tell nobody.
Well, there's got to be a first time for everything.
Yeah, but that's to your house though. Invite them to your house. And don't tell your parents that they black. I don't care how liberal the parent is. You not just gonna show up to my house. Oh, and then I
think people do it.
That was a red flag all the way.
Let me tell you what's a red flag for real though. Well, that's a red flag. Because number one, you don't, and this should have been his red flag to say his ass where he was at. That's dangerous.
To show up somebody's house.
Danger.
Do they know I'm black?
That you, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I don't care how much you say, no, my parents are gonna love you.
They need to know.
We need to have had a discussion of some sort.
Yeah.
I need to talk to them on the phone, FaceTime, something.
Yeah, we support Black Lives Matters and da-da-da, because sometimes we support it until it comes to our house.
Right.
So
yeah, and that is what I was gonna bring up too. So I felt like in that moment,
Take your time. Take your time.
in that moment, even if this movie was not like a horror movie, it was just like a regular. In that moment, he really should have been like considering, is this the girl for me? Because
Mhm.
I've always said that like I wouldn't be opposed to dating someone that is outside of my race, but they would have to be somebody that really understands like Black concepts. And like Kayla said, that is dangerous to put me in a situation where people don't know everything about me. And I
Mhm.
know like some people might hear that and be like, "Oh, that's just being so serious and so extra," but like
Preachy.
things can pop off, like things can happen, like little microaggressions. And I felt like probably, to answer your earlier question about first and second viewing, it did not occur to me on the first viewing because I was for entertainment, but like
Mhm.
watching it for a second time, like, and watching it critically, like to prepare for this podcast, I was like, yeah, that's kind of when his little ears should have perked up. Because number one, I, it seemed like the mother and the daughter, what was what was her name? The daughter?
Who? Rose.
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 Yeah.
Rose and her mom had a fairly good relationship. And
Mhm.
there's no way that her mom, like, that would mean that they would talk on the phone. You would tell your mom about somebody that you're dating. Maybe not everything, but they've been dating for like what, 4 or 5 months, I think they said.
Yeah, 5 months.
And yeah, the mom would know. So for her to say that
No,
no,
they
they
didn't tell her.
don't know. Mm.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm
when
not
it's getting
going.
that
I'm
serious,
not
that
going. If you're you haven't told them anything about no thank you. No
Yeah.
thank you.
and then if it's getting that serious where I'm going to come to your house, I would have had to speak with. I'd have to talk to your parents
Right.
somehow, some way, by phone, introduce myself, because you just don't. My thing is, you just don't show up at somebody's house without, even if they know you coming, you just don't just show up at somebody's house that you never spoke with them before. I
Right,
could never
right.
just show up at somebody's house if I've never spoken with them before. I just wouldn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I don't know, but I also know like guys get roped up into doing stupid stuff all the time. Sorry,
They
King of
No,
Art
it's
podcast.
true. Because I was looking, I was in this movie, I felt like I was Chris, like, and I'm thinking to myself, this is suspicious, but I think she got my back, so I'm gonna keep rolling with it. I think she got my
Yeah,
back. Look how she defended me against the police. Look how she kind of explained her
that shit
family
was so weird.
dynamic to me before we got there. I would have just kept rolling with it until I would have been like, till I probably would have ended up like Chris.
hey,
And
Just
sometimes
yeah,
rolling with
because
it.
this movie was very cleverly done because it was like a succession of not overtly dangerous situations, but it was just like
Mhm.
eerie until like this explosive ending, and it was like, okay. And I think it's easy to watch movies and be like, that could be me, but shit happens all the time that's weird. But you're like, well, keep pushing forward because maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being
Mhm.
too sensitive. Maybe I'm being like, especially like when like little minor aggressions happen, like minor bouts of racism happen. Because I had something happen to me this weekend, which I'm not gonna get into it, but I remember there's been several times where I've stood at a place where something happened and I'm like, was that racist? Or
getting a
am
little
I
bit.
being too sensitive? Am I? Because I know I can be really critical, especially when it comes to race, and especially like one thing that like doing this podcast has taught me how to like really view media and just like situations more critically. So sometimes I'm a little hard on things surrounding me, but I do stand in my feelings a lot and be like, was that racist? Was that me? Am I being oversensitive? Like, so I could see it happening, like just unsuspecting guy,
Yeah.
something like this happening to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's talk about the police officer scene. Do y'all think that was a setup?
No, I think maybe that cop was trying to help him in some way.
You think
Because
so? Do share.
No.
I think
I feel like the cop was in on it, and that now that of course I don't think they or set up a deer getting hit because you can't control no deer, but
him.
oh, they done done surgery on the deer. I'm like, hop out in front of this
We're
cop.
not in this.
Oh my god! So the deer had a new brain, but like I think like everybody in that town knew, and the cop covered was and I think it was part of a whole elaborate.
Like, see, trust this white woman. Trust her. Because she's
Terrell,
right.
why you think the cop? What makes you think that the cop was trying to help?
Not trying to save him, but I think had the cop known that these two people were together, because she was adamant about him not getting the ID at all, even though he should have given him the ID.
That's true.
But he was so adamant about, no, you're not going to give this cop this ID so he can place me and you together at the same time in case you come up missing.
Okay.
A thought. A thought.
So
that is a thought.
I think he wasn't actively trying to save Chris, but I think had he thought back to, okay, well, I stopped these two couples. I mean, I stopped this couple a few weeks ago, and now this kid is missing. The last person that he was with, I remember the name, Chris. I had his ID. I ran him, and nothing. Sometimes that sticks in the back of your mind when you meet some people during certain situations. Because like I'm pretty sure he had never been called out to, oh, we hit a deer, we need the police. He was like, because like he was like, no, you don't call me, you call animal control about hitting deer and stuff like that. I'm a cop, I don't deal with that kind of stuff. So that would have been something that would have stuck with him even a couple of weeks later, because I'm pretty sure, man, these fools call me talking about they hit a deer. I don't care about that. Is somebody dead out there or what? Tell me when you hit somebody. Don't tell me when you hit a deer.
Oh my god. Well, okay. Well, let's further talk about like police presence in this film, like,
or the lack thereof.
The lack thereof.
Let me tell you something. I know for certain that when they do that shit in real life, look at you and be like, ha ha ha. Okay, we'll write it down.
And business. Yeah, and I know that happens a lot, but I was like, this is some really shitty police work. Like, the thing is, okay, he did come in there talking crazy about,
sex code. There's a sex code out there,
right? Yeah. But when he started naming people that were missing, that's when your due diligence should have came in and been like, okay, we'll look into it. But it like. And Black people already don't have this strong trust for the police. And it was just, I don't know, it's a little disheartening to see like a Black officer treat a Black citizen that way. So that wasn't my favorite part of the movie.
I would say a couple of little things, but they like to come and get folks. But
oh Lord.
We heard what you said on the podcast.
Everybody ain't all skin folk ain't your kin folk is a true statement.
Oh,
because
yeah.
A lot of times,
okay.
When you look into the police force and you're like, wow, you know me, you know the struggles that we go through as a community, and you just gonna blatantly turn your back and just be like, nope, blind eye, can't see that happening. It's like, okay.
Because
I believe that man, that whole skin fuck ain't like, yeah, you really, yeah.
I feel like it would have been nothing for her to be like, for that officer to be like, okay, we'll send a cop over there, and it could have been a really great scene for a cop to show up and they'd be like,
nothing's going on here.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, he left. We haven't seen him, But I don't know. But it did give us a great segue into um Lil Rel's character to be the
Yeah.
hero, and
He
that
was
was
great. He was
yeah.
great.
I
Lil
think
Rel
that
was great.
at the heart of it all, Jordan Peele is a comedian, and so it was very cute.
Yeah, so we did have to have some comic relief in there, and I think that I guess the police officer, the detectives were supposed to be the comic relief, and then Lil Rel's character, what was his friend's name? I can't remember nobody's name in this movie. What is wrong with me?
Me neither.
What is his name? And I see it on the thing too, and I'm like,
It
it's blanking out.
is Rod Williams.
Yeah, Rodney.
Right.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he blew up after this too. His career, if I'm not.
Well, yeah, he was on the Carmichael.
I love that.
I
love that for him, like, so much, because he to me is he's a fantastic actor. So
yeah, I would not say that, but
I like Lil Rel. I think he's funny.
Oh, I love him. I think he's hilarious. But as far as like he's a fantastic actor, I'm not sure I would say that.
Okay, I would say he's a fantastic actor for the roles that he has played.
I also would not say that. But
oh my.
What other roles has he played?
Okay, he was in Free Guy. He was great in Free Guy. He was in Vacation Friends, great in Vacation Friends. If you guys have never seen that, what is it? The Move-In Company one. I can't remember. Southside, great in that.
I think that he is hilarious.
Yeah,
I think he has.
Is good. I like that.
I think he has great comedic timing, but I mean, yeah, okay, I'll go for that. He's good for what he is.
Damn. That's so damn. Well, the rest of us
good in Judas and the Black Messiah. I did enjoy him in that. He didn't even play a comedic role in that one.
I guess
a real serious role for him.
Okay, well, I would like to see that.
He's not in it a ton, but he's in it, and he's not.
Yeah,
you like, oh, I believe it. I believe him.
I guess I'm thinking about his TV show that did not do well, which I actually watched.
I did. I watched it too.
I haven't seen
and I actually enjoyed it, but you know, I
his time. It could have just not been his time.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, because Dave Chappelle had a bunch of sitcoms that didn't work until he got the Chappelle Show. So.
Yeah. I will say that I enjoyed his show, but yeah, so he's good for what he is. I'll give you that, Kayla, since you want to fight about it.
A little.
Anyway. Well, let's talk about the big reveal in the movie where we find out that
Rose is trifling.
Yeah,
I had those keys the whole time, Rose.
Yes, and they're doing the surgeries in the basement. Like, what did y'all get? What was the surgery like? Were they taking a piece of the brain and putting it in another head, or because he kept plopping something in the trash, and I was like, "Is that the old brain?"
I think that was a mistake because he threw the same thing in the trash can twice.
No, I thought I was losing my mind. He plopped something in the trash, and I was like, "What was that?" And then he did it again.
The white person's brain, because they didn't need the white person's brain.
No, they did.
Yeah, they put the white person's brain into a black person's body, but then I was like, how does a black person still exist? Or are they cutting the brain in half and putting a piece?
Remember, they're having to leave a little bit of they have to leave a little bit of the black person's brain. So that means they also have to leave a little bit of the white person's brain out too. So
yeah, so
pieces of brain that ended up in the trash.
I wish that there would have been a little more.
Explain the surgery a little more.
Yeah, because I was like,
explain the surgery to me, Doc. I need to know what's really going on. Like,
yeah, I need the.
I wouldn't explain that to me. Just show me y'all throwing stuff around, and because they wasn't in there that long before Chris got loose started making some things move over there.
I feel like it's probably a deleted scene where they had Chris sitting in the chair. Remember they kept showing them the home movies and stuff. They probably explained that surgery, but then cut the scene. It was like, we're gonna take this section of the brain.
You know what's also very weird is the blind man wanted his eyes. He didn't necessarily want his brain, but I mean, like, I understand, I guess, why, but
he wanted his eye. His eye for photography. Because he's like, he didn't have an eye for photography. He's like, he tried to do photography.
He didn't have eyes.
He didn't have a
and I was trying to figure out, so yeah, because I felt like he wanted like his, vantage point, like his eye. But yeah, were they gonna give him his eyes too? Well, I guess he would be in a body with working eyes. Okay, so okay. But and then let's talk about Rose and all them different damn boyfriends and stuff. Like, that was very weird.
Oh, you're talking about that when he found that box with
all the pictures and stuff.
Yeah, you got evidence, sis. You are awful serial killer, because basically that's what you're doing.
Yes, but I think like
she was the one who lured all the black people to them.
But this film also, like, Terrell, when you were saying earlier that this like has a lot of parallels with things going on. Like, black people go missing all the time. There's tons of black people, tons of black kids, black women that have gone missing, and it's just like
reported.
But it's never reported. It's not sensationalized in the media, and so that definitely ran parallel with the themes in this film, and which was another thing that attributed to this not being as far-fetched as one would believe. Because these people were missing, and they were just like right down the country road. Because how far? Like, they didn't get on a plane or nothing, did they? It was just like a drive.
They drove there, yeah. They probably drove to the city, to upstate. Where were they?
I can't exactly remember where they were. I would say they probably was in Georgia somewhere, to be honest with you.
Chris is from Brooklyn and preparing for a weekend visit to upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still in the same state.
I feel like that's kind of crazy. I feel like I don't know if people in New York really doing that. I see that happening down in Georgia somewhere, but upstate New York, really?
What now?
I would
say that sound like something. That sound like something that would have really, really happened in the South, but maybe upstate New York, something I don't know about too much.
I think they would be upset if we can't find another white person to get the weekend body snatch.
I don't see that.
To put our hands on some Negroes. We gonna stay away from them.
I'd be like, I think that makes more sense for it to be like an upstate New York kind of thing, because like I remember when I first viewed this movie, I was like, me as a person born and raised in the South, I was like, this don't make no sense. Don't no white person I know want to be a black person.
Yeah,
extend their life. So, but I know, even though of course racism is obviously still everywhere, I could see this happening more in the North, but not down here. And I don't know, even white people who be around a lot of black people, like, you still have the privilege of your skin down here if you are white.
Maybe that makes sense. Maybe that makes a little bit more sense, because you're right. I do think that, maybe we're a little bit more cautious down here. Now that you're saying it the way that you're saying it, I'm like, maybe you're right. Being from the South, we have a little bit more cautiousness to us versus someone who might have been raised and born in up north.
Yeah,
it was a little bit more freer.
Yeah, the northern states are supposed to be more progressive,
right.
And
a little bit more trusting than a typical Southerner would be.
And I think you would obviously still have like some apprehension, but probably not as much down here. Because ain't no way, if I were dating a white man and he was like, I'm gonna take you home, meet my family, and he's like, but I didn't tell him you're black, ain't no way I'm going. In the South, no, ain't no way. No, you won't find me in no tree. No, you sure won't. No.
And then ain't no way I'm not gonna have nobody. Ain't nobody gonna know because he was like he only got one friend. He ain't got no family, nothing. I'm gonna have to enlist a couple of people to know where I'm gonna be at all times. And also, if we're going a little too far, you also might just have to come with me. Like,
Yeah, like, and I
the GPS tracker will be on.
I get the pursuit of true love, but you know that would be like him going like that would be dangerous down here in the South.
Yeah.
So and that's why when I first viewed this movie, I was like, I don't know about that. But
knowing where it is brings a lot of context to why it went down the way it did. Because to a baby me, I'm like, it's some red flags here, my dude. Let's meet first of all, why is we meeting at your house? Why we couldn't meet at the Olive Garden?
Oh Lord, have mercy!
He was gonna
stay.
Right.
I won't be meeting you, and that's an Olive Garden, not never.
Also, like, why is we staying in your mama and daddy house? Like, why you can stay at your mama and daddy house for the first time that we meet them? I'ma stay at the hotel. It was a couple things. It was a couple things for me. I'm not staying.
I mean, that happens a lot. You know, when people first meet somebody.
No, it won't happen.
And they, you know, they had a house big enough to where they would have their own room and all this stuff and be quite comfortable.
That's great and all. I don't know you like that. I'm not staying in your house like no.
I stayed in somebody's house I didn't know.
But with all of these contingencies, though,
I'm trying to think.
Like someone you dated, like right out, like 5 months, you just went and stayed in their mom and daddy house the first time you met them.
No,
I'm not doing it. I would be uncomfortable. I would be uncomfortable. Like, I'm gonna want to stay in my own space because I just don't know you like that.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. Oh, we have someone says it was something about the nervous system.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the surgeries. Okay. I don't know. But but anyway,
quick question. What do y'all think? Do you think if the mother hadn't been able to hypnotize him, do you think they would have went through with it? Or they would have tried it at a different date? Because it all entailed on him being hypnotized.
Right. I think she was the kickoff for all of it, and maybe because even when they put him in the basement, when they had him tied up, like they were knocking him out with the hypnosis. So
they weren't gonna let him leave. They would have probably just killed him because I think they would have known by then. Like I'm sure they were getting a sense that he knew something was up. I don't think they would have let him leave, regardless of if he was able to hypnotize, if she was able to hypnotize them or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
But they was getting so much money for because what that guy paid, what, $6 to $7 million for his body?
Yeah,
in that silent auction?
And you know, that auction was so bold because like Chris was walking around the property, right? And then they were all sitting out there in the silent, like literally silent auction, and then turned and had his picture. Like I was like, he in the house. If he walked past a window and see a picture of himself, a big giant picture of himself,
I know, right?
I'd be, oh no, Rose, get the keys. It would have been, I would have started that scene much earlier.
Oh, Rose, get the keys. No, baby. Oh, and that's another thing.
What?
Whenever you're ready.
Why the hell did Rose have them damn keys to your damn car?
Was that his car?
It wasn't his car.
I don't know, but
he didn't even have a license, so it wasn't his car.
He didn't have a license?
Yeah, he's like, I got a state ID.
All that stuff and yeah.
Okay.
When the cop came, he was like, "Let me see your license." He was like, "I got a state ID." He didn't even have a license. And living in the city.
Yeah, he was living in Brooklyn, so he probably didn't need one.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's a mess right there. That's another thing, baby. I don't know. I like to make sure I'd have a way to operate on my own. So yeah, I would rather drive my car
Yeah.
to the places if that's what we gonna do. I don't know, man. He ignored a couple flags.
He
That
ignored all
he
the flags.
just a couple,
Yeah.
just a few, just
Even
all
after I
of
met the parents, I was like, something about y'all ain't right. Y'all too friendly. People that be too friendly, like,
main water
what you
in
being
it.
so friendly
I mean,
for?
I've experienced that, and it is a little off-putting. Like but I mean, how are they supposed to? I think sometimes I've
Leaving.
met white people that like really try hard, especially when you're the only black person there.
Mm-hmm.
They try hard to make you comfortable, and sometimes them doing that makes you very uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
showing me the Hitler stuff and with the Jesse Owens and telling me you voted for Obama and like
Done it a third time. Like,
yeah, and it was very yeah,
they
it was a
putting on
lot.
too
But
hard.
I think that's one of the things that makes this movie really work is that he like drawed on a lot of experiences that black people have. Like I've been in that experience in that situation before. I
Absolutely.
remember I went on a trip with this company I was working for, and I stayed with a roommate, and she was like, "Oh yeah, my first boyfriend was black. My dad didn't like him. I loved him. Oh, I know you can. We're gonna go out later. I know you can dance." And I was like, "I got you, bitch, because I can't." But like, and it was
I
just
know.
like,
I know you can dance. That's
yeah,
funny.
I've experienced that and more than once. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a girlfriend, like, and it's like I know what you're trying to do, but you're doing it
Please
very
stop.
wrong. And
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. I'm not like an alien that has come to your home planet and you have to like make me feel comfortable. I'm an American just like you, okay? And you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had many of those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about like privilege in this movie. Um, because there were a couple of scenes in this film where that was very evident.
Yeah.
Um,
He even said it when he was showing Chris around. He was like, I'm privileged to go to these different countries and take some of their stuff back with me. And I was like, yeah, that's yeah.
That's
Y'all,
what
that
y'all
that
enjoy
means
that.
little
Y'all
privilege.
enjoy going places and taking
Yup.
things and going other
yeah,
places and taking things and
definitely.
going back where you came from.
Yes. I also think like privilege showed up in the way, like for the first time for me, like it showed up a lot, but definitely in the scene with the cops stopping or after they hit the deer. Like for her to speak to the police that way, that was something that Chris would not have been able to do ever.
Mm-mm. No.
Um, and I also think that the ending scene where we get um, Rod shows up, I thought it was so interesting and so clever how Jordan Peele, like crafted the scene and showed how when it comes to dealing with the police, the things that we instinctually do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he didn't know that it was Rod coming up. All they saw was blue lights,
Mm-hmm.
and he
And oh,
instinctively
she
put his
thought she
hands
got it
up.
too. Oh, she thought
Yeah,
she had it.
yes, he instinctively put his hands up like don't shoot because he
Mm-hmm.
knew he was standing over a injured body of a white woman. He instinctively put his hands up.
Mm-hmm.
She instinctively weaponized her tears and was like, help me," and I was like, that is such a well done scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just like, you guys have any thoughts on that? I just thought that was really cool.
Mm, no, it's just what you said. Like it was a really great ending because that's exactly what would have happened. And had it been any other cop, they'd have believed him, black or white, Asian, Caucasian, anyone who would have stopped him, who of any race, who was a cop. would have been like, "Yep, that Negro is murdering that white woman. Let's pow him real quick." Yeah.
Mhm. And
Did
I felt
y'all?
like that scene. Oh, what you about to say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What you supposed to say?
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like that scene really hit hard to me on
Mhm.
like second viewing of this film. Because when did this film come out? What year?
2017.
2017.
Mhm.
And I guess I probably did not, like I said earlier, I didn't really think as critically as I do now. But I've been in situations, like especially at work, where like white women have what against me. And so I was like, wow, that scene really hit hard. And it made me think about those times. And that's why I think this movie did really well, because it is one of those movies that really makes you think well after you have viewed it. So
Oh yeah. Mhm. It's definitely
I
a
but
film that sticks with you. And that part, that definitely, I was like, wow, because she was really thought she was going to win, and I was like, oh, because after first viewing, you're like, oh man, please don't let this go how I think it's going to go, and then when it doesn't, you're like, oh,
mhm.
okay. So I was like,
Right.
I'm not
I did it.
mad.
Yeah, and it's so sad, like the ending that we were expecting. I'm glad that it
You know
ended
that it's
in a
changed,
way.
right?
Hmm?
They changed the ending.
Oh boy,
There's an alternate ending. Have y'all seen
I
the
did
alternate
not know
ending?
that. What's the alternate
Hmm.
ending?
Alternate ending is same scene, the cops, but it's really cops this time, and he ends up in prison. And Lil Rel comes to prison to try to, hey, we need to get what happened. You need to tell me what happened so we can get you out of here, because I know you didn't do what they're saying you did.
Have you
And
seen
he's like,
the
it's on
scene?
YouTube. You can look it on. It's on
Okay,
YouTube.
I'm gonna look that up.
It's about it's about 3 or 4 minutes. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I was like,
but what were you
wow.
saying?
Yeah, then he ends it like by saying, at least I stopped them, and then he hangs up the phone, then he walks away, and that's like the end of the movie.
Shouldn't me. That would not be enough for me.
That enough justice for you.
Get me out of here. But I'm like, nah, shit. Y'all went in that house and saw what was going on. Y'all, I mean, because everybody in there was dead, so they had to go in and investigate. Now, how
No,
you
but then
explain a whole lab down there with brains in the trash can? Come on
Question
now.
that needs many answers.
Mhm. Okay, I see. Get Out alternate ending. I'm gonna watch that. Oh no, he is in the jail. I don't like
Mhm.
that.
But I
But
think he changed it for the better. I like the ending we got, other than the alternate ending. The alternate ending,
I'd
it
have to
kind
agree.
of brings you down. It's like nothing really came of it. It was just something terrible that happened to another black person. You was like,
right,
he didn't
right,
even
right.
do it, and there's nothing he can do or say that's going to be able to get him out of it, because everybody's dead.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so what could you do? So
Yeah.
What would you do if your son was at home?
that song is sad
Alrighty.
and a bop at the same time.
Yeah, we really shouldn't have been singing that. But
The
No,
saddest bop I ever heard in my life.
and we were
But you
just
can't help but
dancing
sing
to it.
along. You be like, what? What's
it's
we?
real catchy. Yeah. Hey. Well,
Yeah, we should not have been enjoying child neglect like that, but okay.
Having a good
Well,
time.
yeah.
yeah.
We ain't got to ordain my son. I know where my kids at. They ain't hungry.
Oh my God, bro, that was awful.
That was pretty bad.
Well, do we have any final thoughts? Any Terrell, you have any final thoughts? This is your movie.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Thought back to when the guy was talking. He was one of the guests for the party. Was talking with Chris, and he was like, he was talking about his outfit, but it seemed like he was talking about more than his outfit. He's like, black is in fashion, black is in style. That's why I'm wearing black.
Yeah.
So I was like,
That's
man,
very neat. Like on how like second viewing you when you go back and you're like, okay, that's why they said that. Okay, and that's what they meant by that. Yeah, that
mhm.
happened a lot.
Yeah,
Because
you get
his outfit didn't look that stylish. I was like,
I
black is
was
in that.
like,
Well,
yeah,
obviously you
I'm
don't know the
like,
fashions, then, sir.
they talking about your skin. Yeah, that was and you know, and let's talk about Georgina for a little bit.
The grandmother.
She was okay, the grandpa was creepy, but she was creepier.
Mm-hmm.
Uh the way she was, I was like, was grandma creepy in life, or are these experiences just wrong?
I think the experiments are wrong.
Because she was just lurking around and then like in the mirror, like
She would be there. She would
I
just be
think
it was
that
very
places.
Georgina
weird.
might have been trying to fight back.
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
which was good. I was like, yeah.
yeah. I was like, these experiments are malfunctioning.
Hmm.
But yeah, so but yeah, I think I don't have any final thoughts. Kayla, you?
No, I don't have any final thoughts. I think we kind of went through all of the different spots really well.
Okay.
Ooh, bananas.
Well, is it time for best, worst, weirdest?
Yep.
It's time for best, 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 worst, and weirdest. Sorry, I don't know.
No, you're
Okay.
not half as sorry as I am. All right. Terrell, you want to lead us?
Sure. Yeah. Best part of this film was the writing, the direction, um, the acting from I really believe like this was a situation that he put the characters in that was it felt like a real situation, didn't feel like it was like some fantasy land dream world that didn't exist. It felt real grounded in something that you could possibly see somewhere. It might not be even in America, but somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
So I like that. The worst part of the film was that what was the worst part? I really enjoyed this film. Which is why I picked this film. The worst part of the film probably would have been him not seeing those signs early on, him being too trusting, him being too polite. Um, Cause like if bruh, I just met you for the first time and you come around the table and you grab me, we gonna have a problem off the rip. We we gonna have a major problem. It's not gonna be, I don't fight drunk people. No, bruh,
Mhm.
get your hands off me for something terrible happened to you. You don't want this. You don't want
Oh my God,
it.
Exactly.
what's happening here?
Because
Cause just
that was a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
but people just if somebody walked up to you you just met for the first time and grabbed you and tried to put you in some hold, you'd be like, it's all right, buddy. We don't have to do this now. Like, nah,
No.
we gonna
I
do
mean, he in his defense, he was trying to be nice and not come across as an aggressive black person. I was trying to gather, but I was like, dude, what is wrong with his brother? Like, bruh, go
yeah,
sit
he was
down
wilding.
somewhere.
He was
Yeah.
wilding. And they just let him go. They just let him rock with it. I was like, I can't rock with
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I will say they definitely was given a little too friendly there because I'd have been like, all right, you better tell your brother to keep his hands off me.
Yeah.
And the
Um,
weirdest part of the film was, I don't know what was weird. It really, I can't think of anything that was too weird. It was, let me see, think something that was weird. It was weird that he, it was weird how Lil Rel found him so quickly. How did he get the address? How did he know
maybe
where?
he shared it with them.
Mm,
I don't know, but let me tell you something. I extend the ride for me in the same way and come find me too. And girl, if you got to sniff the ground where we live from my house to your house, I expect my best friend to be on my ass like that. hopefully.
Yeah, maybe Chris was smarter than we think he was. 'cause,
Right.
He did say he was
Right. But
TSA. So.
I just also, oh yeah, and you know what? That's the power of the TSA. That's
Boom.
hilarious. But no, I trust my best friend so much, and I believe she also trusts me as equally the same. That like we keep our location on with each other. Like because my thing, I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're doing. I care that you're safe. I care that if you said you're gonna be home at 10 o'clock and I have not heard from you, have not.
Okay. So, but
I want to know that I'm able to look at my phone and be like, okay, well, she's not as in like a creepy way. Like we're friends.
no, that
Yeah,
makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. But yeah, I'm gonna go into my best, worst, and weirdest. I will say that the best part of this movie was just how clever all of the scenes were crafted, and it was refreshing to see a major motion picture that was not necessarily marketed or like what's the way to say it? Like it wasn't like you could tell when movies come out, oh, this is for black audiences. This is like the way the marketing is. This was like marketed to like just general audiences, but it was about the black experience. And it was refreshing to see that on screen. And to also have it presented in a way where like everybody knows what's going on. Maybe the white folks watching might not know what's going on, but every black person does. So that was great. Best worst would be it was just I don't know disheartening to see Rod go for help and then be like laughed at. And because
people in there to laugh,
right, and I guess that scene was like because it is Jordan Peele, we got to have some comedic relief in there. But I just felt like, okay, so there's this guy ranting in your office about there's some creepy sex cults going on and people doing weird experiments. Okay, fine. If you don't know anything about that situation, maybe you might say that that's not true. This person's obviously crazy. But if somebody's crazy, get them some help or direct them the direct them to some help, But to like laugh at them and like make like a mockery of it, like because either this person is telling the truth and you're not being serious about it, or they're lying or they're crazy. In either way, you need to do something.
Yeah.
So, but when he started naming the people missing, like that guy, and I want to say, I don't know if they mentioned Georgina, but definitely the guy was missing. Like this person had been missing for months, and like his name didn't even spark your attention at all. And it was just sad to know that this happens to black people all the time. They go missing. And like, because even if he was ranting in this office about something crazy, you just brought up the name of somebody that's been missing for months. And it's just like, wasn't even on my radar. Now, if somebody would have been like, what was the girl, the Peterson girl? If somebody would have brought that name up, or like Jean Bonnet or something, everybody knows Jean Bonnet. And like all of these white women and white girls, Lacey Peterson, I think.
Yeah.
If anybody would have mentioned that name, no matter what, they would have had 100 police cars out there. But this happens all the time to black people. So, and so that was kind of the worst. The weirdest, I would say, it would have been. Maybe because I'm nosy and I like to know how things work. It would have been nicer to have like a a further explanation as to how this surgery was going to work, because it was very weird and a lot. Like, the brain is like a magnificent thing, but I don't think it can withstand being cut up and like Frankenstein together in one head. But okay, go off then, Jordan. So, but yeah,
I don't know
that's
about that.
yeah. So what about you? What's your best worst weirdest, Kayla May?
Sure. So my best was that I think that I like the fact that Jordan Peele is not afraid to go where other people have shied away from. And I think for one of his first films in this genre, he did an excellent job and really set himself up for success. Because I don't think that there's a single person now who's like, oh, a Jordan Peele movie's coming out, I'm not gonna go see that. It's probably not gonna be great. Nope. I think everyone is like, oh, Jordan Peele's coming out, guys. Can't wait to go see it. Marketing genius, by the way.
Mhm.
So I think that's the best part. Him just going in and doing things that, other people have shied away from. Best worst. My worst, I'm still going. I hear what y'all say. But I think that girl should have been able to hear all that ruckus going on in that house. That's just me though. And I think my weirdest is probably, right along kind of the alley where you guys are all out, like just to know that and I think it was probably very intentional to that cop scene, like him going into Rod going into the police station and them not believing him, them laughing in his face. I think it was very intentional that he allowed it to be Black people, just to kind of show that police, regardless of race, are kind of trash.
Sheesh.
Kind of just so that's my best, worst, and weirdest.
What's up?
Okay.
What y'all got? What is it? Who we taking a drink with? Who we taking a drink?
Yes, it's happy hour.
I'm telling you something. I'm taking a drink with Poe. This is a good one. It's either gonna be Georgina. Georgina dead now, so never mind.
Any character, dead or alive.
But I want her to be herself again, not Grandma Georgina. I want her to be Georgina, because I feel like she was in a fight for her life to try to get up out of Grandma, like beat Grandma consciousness, and I feel like she gonna need a drink after all that.
Georgina, it is then. Yeah, I wondered if you could like put them back together, but I guess not.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, like, can your little piece of consciousness take over the big piece of consciousness of the white person? I have no idea. Who knows?
They probably put them brains in medical waste. Like,
I was about to say they was long gone. Dispose of the waste.
Like the parts that are stitched together now, can that little piece of Black consciousness take over all that big piece of white consciousness?
I think that it was explained to us that it can, but not for long. Like, it's too small to like take over completely. Because remember in the final minutes of the film, like the grandpa or whoever the guy was, he killed himself because he was able to take over for a little bit.
Okay, makes sense.
Just long enough to
help him out,
right?
Get himself out of his misery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he was sick of running all night.
I know that's right.
Okay.
You ain't never gonna get the speed. You're never gonna be as fast as you think.
That running was so extra. God, that was so much. But
let's see.
It's happy hour. Who are you having a cocktail with? T-Rex.
I am going to have a cocktail with. I gotta have with Rod.
Okay.
Rod, and he was He
couldn't
be on the same. We was thinking the same thing.
That's a good friend to have.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was because he came and saved him. Because many friends, myself included, would be like, "Look, I called the police, man. What else you want me to do?"
That's funny.
I would say I would have a cocktail with. I think I want to have a cocktail with Rose.
Really?
I think so because I felt like
Rosalita.
Rose was doing what she was trained to do, but I'm curious as to if she really liked doing
Knew what was
this.
going on. Ah.
I think she knew. I mean, she was born
Them
into it.
pictures
Because
told
remember,
me that she did.
but
I was gonna say
Her
it's
eating that cereal like a
giving-
serial killer told me that
that
she
was
enjoyed
so
it.
serial killer of her to eat that cereal. That was like the scariest scene in the film. That cereal. But I can't remember what scene it was, but there was a scene in the movie where I was like, maybe she don't like doing this. Maybe it's just she was just raised to do it.
But when she was
And-
like, you were the what did she say when they were dragging him off? You were the best one, or you were the one I liked the most?
Yes, I something like that. It was one scene I just can't remember exactly the scene, and I should have wrote it down. But it was like a scene I was like, maybe Rose just doing this because that, and that I was gonna like kind of relate it to like kind of how racism works. Like a lot of it is learned behavior.
Yeah. I mean that's true.
But yeah, but
What
I
made
would
me
have a
think
cocktail
that
with Rose.
with Rose.
Oh, go
What
ahead.
made me think that she was how she was like when she was acting like she was looking for them keys, and then she straightens up and like she jingling the keys on her finger. Told you know I can't do that. I was like,
Yeah.
but why though? I'm ready to go.
Yeah. But I mean, that is part of the role that she was, that was designed for her. So I don't know. But yeah, but I would have a cocktail with Rose. Not at her house though.
Nah, go to her house.
No, I'm good.
Friend, you
Okay.
in it now.
Uh-uh.
You might as well go now, friend.
Yeah. Well, Terrell, what you binging this week? What's on your telly?
I was watching this crazy show.
Excuse me.
Me and Rhonda was watching. The Watcher is based on a story something that happened for real about the who was sending letters to this house and threatening the family, and they trying to get out of the house and find out who the Watcher is. And but the story is way better than the show. I'd rather hear the story than to watch the show. The show is terrible, but but I gotta see it through to the end. Got to see it to the end.
Get to see it.
I hate when that happens. When you get into a show, you be like, "This ain't good," but I can't give up now.
Right.
I ain't no quitter.
I just can't get.
So
I done finished many of shows on that same concept.
I watched that first episode and I was like,
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It just came out.
I think I saw that. Yeah. Kayla, what you binging? Girl.
what am I binging? To be honest with you, nothing really. I started watching The Watcher as well, and I'm still on the fence on it, so I'm gonna finish it. There's some other stuff out that I can't think of off the top of my mind what it is. That's the funny thing. But if you guys know the people who make like Midnight Mass, all those, they have a new TV show out right now as well.
Oh, they do? Which one's it called?
I'm trying to think of it and I can't. It's about some children in the Midnight Club. That's what it's called.
Oh, that's by him?
Yeah, same people.
Okay.
Same
I'm
people.
gonna watch it, but I didn't want to start anything yet.
Yeah, same guy, same creep vibes. There is an episode in there.
Don't you give no spoilers, girl.
I ain't gonna give no spoilers, but you better watch your back. You better watch your back because you gonna be like,
is it scary like adult horror? Because it's kids, right?
It's one episode in there that's you like every 3 minutes, 2 minutes, every 20 seconds, you was like,
we're gonna rock uncontrollably in our chairs.
yeah, you're gonna do it.
Sign me up.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it. So that's something I am watching. So.
Okay. Well, all right.
I don't want to give too much away. I think everyone should see it. If
Well,
you haven't watched Midnight Mass, Midnight Mass is also really good.
Midnight Mass is what you need. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that was too good.
Ooh, that was real.
Ray, have
real
you watched
good.
it yet?
No. First one. What was the first one that they put in?
Something on Blythe Manor, Blythe, something.
That's
Something
Midnight Mass is the
something.
third one.
Yeah,
really?
it's yeah.
Yeah, because they House
But
on.
they're not connected like that for real. Not for real.
Yeah. Trey, man, you need to watch it. Midnight Mass.
Midnight
Ooh.
Mass is it.
I put it on my list.
Oh Lord, y'all in these lists.
I hate
List of
you.
things that don't never happen.
You ain't lying. Well, I am not. I haven't really been watching anything this week because I've been traveling a lot. I went to Charleston this week. I went to St. Augustine. So I'm really just getting back home, and I haven't been watching anything but still going through. Through Supernatural. I don't ever did, and I love that. And it's slowing me. I'm slowed down even more because I found a companion podcast. So now I'm like watching episodes and listening to podcast episodes too. Yeah, I love Supernatural. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right.
But Midnight Club is going to be on my list that I might watch next. I might start it. Oh, I started Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, the show.
Okay, how is it?
It's
What?
very good. It's very good. But I like a period piece, and it's like
We love a good period.
in the 1800s and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. It's more along the lines of Anne Rice's novels than the movie was, and I loved the movie. So, but yeah, it's really good. There's a lot of people of color, which it should have been because it was like Creole, Louisiana. You know how things are in the movies. But now they've corrected that kind of stuff, and so. But yeah.
They corrected it, or did they overcorrect it?
I think they corrected it because, like, in the movie, you don't see a lot. None of the stars are people of color, but Anne Rice wrote like those vampires is like Creole gentlemen, and I mean, I love Tom Cruise, but he was not that. I love Brad Pitt, but he was not that. So we are. But yeah. So anyway, that's it. That's our show, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes, thanks
so much for joining us today. I'm sorry.
And the wheels on the bus continue to go round and round. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. So we hope you enjoyed the show. And for bonus content or to learn more about the show, you can head over to sipsandscripts.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sips and Scripts Podcast. And if you got a suggestion for a film for us to discuss, or you want to add to the conversation, or you just want to say, hey, you can DM us on social media, on Facebook or Instagram, and leave us a voice message on Anchor, and we'll play it on the show. So thanks again for tuning in and joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Stay magical.
Bye. Happy spooky
or
season.
Not. Be ready.